It's not some big secret. I don't really care about the Camaro. The first gens are cool. The second gens are getting a little bit more appealing to me. But beyond that, I don't care. Camaro, take it or leave it. Whatever. This right here, this is the latest one. This is the 6th generation Camaro. And it might just be the one that completely changes my mind about this car. So the important things to note with the new Camaro, this 6th generation car, is that it's lighter than the version it replaces. That's very important because it has more power and it weighs less. Therefore, its power to weight ratio has gone up. And that is great. This vehicle is much closer to its Corvette sibling now. In fact, it has the same 6.2-liter engine you'll find under the hood of the Stingray. It's making 455 horsepower. And in this car, the SS version I'm driving, it's paired with a 6-speed manual gearbox. Now you can get it with the 8-speed, but the GM 8-speed is not great. So don't. Now since this is similar to the Corvette, it has some similar technology like the Corvette. You can turn on rev matching with these paddles here. I'm gonna do that now. It's great when you're hustling along a canyon road and you just want to have some fun and focus on the road and you know, maybe you're not that great at heel towing or rev matching or any of that business. This solves that problem for you. Some of you might complain, the computer's doing all the work. You know what? Some people just want to enjoy their car, not worry about it. And this allows them to do that, like I'm gonna do for this corner right here. I'm gonna go from 3rd to 2nd, rev match perfectly, go for the corner, and go. Now, if you're such a good driver that you don't need that, just turn it off, or don't turn it on rather, because it defaults to off. So don't complain, just don't use it. So this specific Camaro is fitted with an optional dual mode exhaust system, and it allows that Corvette engine to make fantastic noises, such as this. That sounds pretty darn good, I'd have to say. So there's one reason why I like this new Camaro. Now the old Camaro, it could make good noises too. But how this Camaro is using all of its technology is what makes it great. And the fact that it is riding on the Alpha platform is really the coup de grace here. I loved that Cadillac ATS-V. This is essentially a Chevrolet version of that car. So it's a little bit less expensive, but it's just as good, if not better, because its price to power performance ratio is much better. The seats in here are fantastic. The steering wheel is much better. The visibility still sucks. It's still terrible. You can't see anything out of this car. But everything else about it is great. From the center stack and the infotainment and all that stuff, it's fitted with an optional Apple CarPlay system, which I don't really love CarPlay, but the technology is there. It's evolving. Chevy's giving this all of the latest bits and baubles that people do want out in the marketplace. Look at this. I love this part about the car. I'm 6'3". I'm not a little guy, but the belt line in this car is so high that if you wanted to rest your arm up here, it's basically like at my ears. Now, if I was a short person, I can't be the cool cruising down Pacific Coast Highway guy that I'd like to be in my Camaro because, you know, my arm's up here, God damn it. So this is ridiculous. I understand modern cars, belt lines are going up, but come on, that's absurd. And it lends credence to why this window, you can't see anything out of it. The steering is very heavily weighted, but in a good way. It feels proper for the car. The clutch is nice and heavy, as it has to be with a big V8 engine making this much power. The manual gearbox slots in neatly into all of its gears. You're not gonna miss a shift with this thing. It's not a 7-speed. You're not gonna, find yourself in the wrong gear. It's a regular 6-speed gearbox, so it works just fine. Brembo brakes at all 4 corners. This was wearing optional wheel and tire package, so it's got Goodyear, I believe they're F1s on the outside. So you got plenty of meaty rubber. I'll put the size up of the tire right here because I don't know it off the top of my head. It's a pony car, muscle car that has transcended into the sports car world. Motor Trend says it's better than the BMW M4, and I haven't driven the M4, but everything I've read about the M4, I want to believe all that. I think they're probably right. I've spoken to people who've driven both, and they agree with that same conclusion. So it's not just Motor Trend picking that one car. Now, performance-wise, this car has jumped up. 0 to 60 is right around 4 seconds. It'll run the quarter in just over 12 seconds. And those are great numbers. And it's a great starting point for all the various Camaro iterations we're going to see. Our man Bradley got to ride along in the ZL1, and it seemed like it was pretty darn nuts. The next Z28 should be unreal. This car here is already just a few ticks off, not seconds, but just ticks off the performance metrics that Chevy engineers were finding with the last generation Z28, which was a crazy car. From its, spool valve suspension to its carbon fiber wheels to all the stuff that thing had going on. So if this is already right near that level, the baseline for Camaro performance metrics for the other versions is going to be crazy. It's a good thing Ford and Shelby teamed up for that GT350 because they're going to need every little bit of it to compete with the Camaro. And I'm saying all of this as someone who is an admitted Camaro hater. That's how good the 6th generation car is. So what Chevy has created here is essentially a more affordable Corvette that can take on the world's best sports cars for less money than the Corvette. I mean, that's pretty darn awesome. And then, you got a nice empty straight road. It's still good at going straight too. Is there anything more I can tell you about the Camaro? Canyon Marrow. Engine noise, engine noise, engine noise. Let's try something different. See if you can see that heads-up display. Boink. Yoink. Click. Canyon Marrow. Dicing through traffic.